Hi everyone, my name is Kira and welcome to my YouTube channel. So I am a minimalist and I've been practicing digital minimalism for a while. So in this video, I would like to introduce you, I would like to show you what's on my phone. There are tons of video talking about what's on my phone, what's on my iPhone. So I guess you might be tired about that. But if you are interested in organizing a phone in a minimal and simple way, if you're interested in meditation and mindfulness, if you are interested in productivity in general, or if you are just curious about my phone, then please watch this video until the end. By the way, this is iPhone 11 and actually I've just switched to Apple product a month ago. So before that, I was an Android user for like 8 years. Well, still on my way to get used to this phone. But I really loved it. I really loved the Apple product. Shall we start right away to see what's on my phone? Okay, so I'm gonna put here. As you see on the first page, there are two things I want to mention here. First, I still keep some of the Apple stocks apps. Although I prefer Google system, like Google ecosystem more because I had used Android for 8 years. However, I do like the icon of those default stocks apps, especially the calendar and photos. So I just kept there. Secondly, for every page, I just only use the first 2 rows. You know, it looks more minimalist and organized. So here's the Apple folder. There are some apps that I decided to delete because I don't need it. And then here's the Google folders where I keep most of the Google apps inside except Google Calendar. Talk about setting. As a minimalist, I decided to turn off all of my notification except some productivity apps, and I also turn on the screen time. And so far, this is what I like the most on iPhone. On my widget page, there's only weather and also screen time. And by seeing this every day, I can actually track like how much I use per day, which kind of apps that I use. Okay, so let's go to the bottom dock here. We got phone, messages, Spotify, and finally Forest. So first talk about Spotify. Not only listening to music, but I also use Spotify to listen to the podcast, like Japanese news, NHK Radio News, or BBC Global News podcast. Let's talk about Forest, my most favorite apps. It is a timekeeping app which helps you focus on a particular task. So you plant a tree and you start your task. Here's the thing that I like about Forest. It will save all the data and turn it into a statistical information or a graph so that you can actually know how much time did you focus today. Now let's go to the second page where I keep some of the apps that I regularly use. Firstly, a minimalist. It is actually a to-do list app and it's very simple and easy to use. You just swipe down to create a task. But actually, I've been using another to-do list app, which is Todoist. I will explain to you later. So I make this app become my kind of idea note. When I was focusing on a particular task, sometimes I suddenly came up with an idea about the other thing that is not related to that task. And it would be quite annoying if I don't write it out right away. So I tend to use this app to write those things and will reflect on it whenever I have time during break or especially before going to the sleep. The second app is called Diary, or in full name it is Simple Diary by a Japanese developers called Komorebi. It is like a journal app. I tend to write my journal in Japanese, and as you can see here, I create a title for each day. I put some picture. One more thing, instead of typing, I decided to use the voice system, built-in voice recognition system, so that it can make me feel more convenient. So the third one is Rewy. I got to know this app after taking an online class on Coursera. It is called The Science of Well-Being. So it is conducted by Professor Lauria Santos from Yale University. Basically, it is a tracking app, but what it tracks is the act or the action that can help to boost our happiness. For example, meditation, gratitude, or savoring. And I have been using this app to track those tasks every day, and it actually helped me to develop a habit of savoring. This is Notion. So Notion is a all-in-one note-taking app. So every notes from my MBA class or my personal projects will be saved in this Notions and being organized. I think this is one of the most productive note-taking system that I've ever used. Let's go to the 4 folders. Down here we have mindfulness, we have reading, productive, and polyglot. Mindfulness is where I keep my meditations apps inside. Tide is a versatile app, has a focus function, has a sleep tracking, and also mainly a meditation sessions. When I started practicing meditation 2 years ago, this app helps me a lot in some basic practices such as breathe, body scan. Recently, I've been using an app called the Simple Habit. So it has feature which is called On The Go. Basically, you can listen to the meditation session for 5 minutes, anytime, anywhere. Balance is another app, and it is good for those who need a particular guidance. Because I got 1 year of free subscription, so I still keep here, but mainly I use Simple Habit and Tide. So I have a reading folder and contain 3 main apps: Blinkist, Feedly, and Waka. Waka is a Vietnamese Amazon Kindle. Blinkist is a book summary app, which means you can, comprehend, understand the content of the book within about 15 minutes of reading. And they actually also have a audio function. So if you are kind of lazy...
You just heard the blinks from Francesco Cirillo's The Pomodoro Technique.
Yeah, something like that. If you're lazy of reading, you can just press the listen button and they will, read it for you. Then I have Feedly. This is an app that collects articles from some websites or blogs that I usually read. I can just find that blogs inside these apps, follow it, and it will automatically update the new reading for you every time you open the app. One more special thing here. There's a second page inside this folder, and actually I keep my Instagram app inside this folder and creating a if-then rule, which kind of helped me to reduce the time using the Instagram. If I want to open the Instagram, then I have to read at least 1 page from any reading apps inside here first. Coming with the productivity apps, I have Todoist, which is my main to-do list app. The reason why I like this because it has a 7 days to-do list making instead of only by days. Then Way of Life, it is a habit tracking app, and here's where I track my mini habits. For example, read 1 page, piano 5 minutes. I've been doing this for 2 years and it actually helped me a lot in developing a habit of meditation, of writing a diary. The Google Calendar, and I think you might be a little bit surprised of how I use this one. Hang on. Yeah. So a weekly calendar full of many events, and I even separate it into different categories with different colors. Even I have a categories for daily, like dinner, shower, lunch, and so on. Well, I start tracking every minute of my day since last October so that, I can understand how I spend my time in a day. Also to building kind of self-discipline on time management. And well, it became one of my habits, so I don't feel any distractions and time consuming in doing this. Then finally, I have a polyglot folder. So a polyglot means someone who can speak 5 languages fluently, and that's what I'm aiming for. That's why I decided to set the name of the folder is polyglot, not language, not studying, just to motivate myself. I have Lingodeer, Memrise, which is the language learning app for learning Korean, and the Merriam-Webster dictionary. I have 3 more apps for language here, but the reason why I decided to separate it, firstly because I just want to put 3 icons inside each folder. Secondly, these 3 apps is the apps that I use for my morning routines. I study mainly grammar in Lingodeer, and as you can see here, I have currently 190 days strict and 10 more days to 200. Then for vocabs, I use Memrise because it is more fun. So yeah, I kind of using simultaneously. Coming to the last page is where I put my apps in different categories. For photos, I mainly use Snapseed and VSCO. And this Unsplash is an app where you can find and download a lot of high quality wallpaper for both PC and phone. So I actually download my wallpaper from this app. For music, it's mainly for instrumental, especially piano and guitar, because I playing both. Social, I have Line for mainly texting to my Japanese friend, YouTube Messenger, then Studio, and WordPress because I'm also a blogger, so I need some sort of managing apps so that I can track and see some kind of statistics here, just like a YouTube Studio. Then Zalo is the Vietnamese message app. Coming to the lifestyle, I have Delish Kitchen, which is a Japanese cooking app. It actually helped me a lot while I was studying in Japan. And I'm still using it because sometimes I cook Japanese meal for my family. So you can search some of the keywords, but of course in Japanese. And then, well, there are gonna be some suggestion along with recipe and short tutorial. And then I have Roomclip. Roomclip is like a Instagram, but only for interior picture. So I'm keeping this app as to find more inspiration from here. Then in Pinterest, 3 more language app, Korean dictionary, Japanese dictionary, and Quizlet is like a flashcard app where you can actually store every new words inside here instead of making like a paper flashcard. In remote photo, I have some video calling apps such as Zoom and Team. Financial, where I keep some Vietnamese bank app, and also Money Note, which is a money tracking app. And then Extra is where I keep the rest of the apps. I have Abema TV, which is a Japanese TV, online TV. It's free, but the point is that you have to change your VPN server to Japan in order to watch the Abema. And then Workout Timer is for my exercise. And then Flicklo is like a clock apps because inside my room I don't have a clocks. And then the rest of the app here. So that is all about what's on my iPhone. So thank you for watching this video until the end. And I also hope that you found some interesting and useful apps for your productivity as well as mindfulness. So that's it about my video. See you soon in another videos, I guess. So bye bye.